Hello, everyone. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. If you see me, say hi. If you're seeing this afterwards, say hi as well that you're watching the replay. So I just wanted to pop on here very quickly today because as you probably have noticed, and if you're new, I do come on here every week, and I usually come on here 12:30 British time. But today I've had some appointments and things to do, so it's a little bit late. But I always feel like it's better done than not. And this is something I really want to just jump on here and say something about because a lot of you have shared with me so many of your beautiful stories, and the ones that I have been fortunate enough to actually sit with you live on a session and chat with you. I know your story intimately, and I carry it with me with so much compassion when I create the program and when I think of what's best to serve you as well in all my free sessions. So today, I preface this live with what do I want? And it's not about me, but it's about you. You as the I. What do I want? And I just want to ask you a little bit about this question. Like, how often do you actually ask this question to yourself, not to other people, but to yourself? Like, what do I want? Because I know that for me, there are tendencies where I don't even think of asking myself that question, right? So I just want you to really sit with that and ask yourself, what do I want? If you'd like to share it in the comment section, you can absolutely do that as well. What do I want? Because when we talk about healing our relationship with our body, when we talk about healing our relationship with food, when we talk about recovering from an eating disorder or disordered eating, we don't really, this is the thing that really breaks my heart, and what drives me to be so compassionate and so passionate about doing this is that we rarely ask the real question, which is, what do I want? A lot of times, if you're going through recovery, if you're going through a treatment or therapy, let me know. Share with me in the comment section, like, what are you going through right now? Because what I really came from as a personal experience of going through about 10 years of anorexia and then just various sorts of eating disorders, because I never really grasped that concept until I did. And that was when I stepped fully into recovery, and now I'm already fully recovered for a couple of years and going strong, is that there is no tendencies for these people, these experts, to ask the question of, what do you want as a patient, as a client, right? A lot of you have been prescribed meal plans, and you've been told that you have to be at a certain weight goal and all of that. Now, if you're healing from a very serious eating disorder, like I was going through a time when I had to be hooked up to IV drips as well, then yes, maybe there is some benefits to having that goal, because when I went through that, I didn't actually have that. Like, I wasn't even clear on whether I was under the illusion, as that is what your eating disorder voice would do to you. The eating disorder delusion is that you don't feel like you have a problem, right? You don't feel like you are underweight. You don't feel like you need to see an expert. You don't feel like you need to do anything. And even if you do seek out help, it's either because somebody intervened, or you just knew that that has to happen, otherwise you would die. And yet you're still carrying that tendency in you, and you're still wanting to go back to that time because you feel that that is your best version. So why do you feel that? And even like for you right now, going through this for years and years, some of you here have been through it for 10 years and even more, and sometimes 20 years, 30 years. You still carry that tendency of thinking, when I had that eating disorder, I had the perfect body. and maybe you felt thinner and skinnier or whatever it is, right? Or like me, I never felt like I had a perfect body. I always felt like I had to chase after something. I was never satisfied. I was at so many different weights, and yet I was never satisfied. And that to me was a huge wake up call, because it made me feel like, okay, so it's actually not my body. It's not my body that's going to make me happy. It's not my body that's going to make me feel like I am finally at peace and joyful in life. And I chose to be joyful. I chose to be happy. And because I did that, when I chose that, realizing that being in a certain weight or being in a certain body size is not going to bring me there, shifted my focus. And I shifted my focus. And in the process, I shifted it to that question, like, what do I want? So that's why I say it's so important to ask yourself this question, and knowing that very clearly, what exactly do you want? And then you need to move in faith. Take that moment to just let that sink in. We have to move in faith. And why do I say that? Because so many people fall off the wagon, so many people give up on this recovery, and perhaps have recovered and then relapsed again, because they see recovery as a linear journey, when really it's a non-linear journey. And if you get out of this, if you go through this fully, I would say, and you get out on the other side, you will gain such a beautiful expanded and expansive moment where you are like so awakened to the fact that life is never linear, and life is always about being in the unknown, and all we are doing every single day is moving in faith, that we are not meant to plan everything in life, that we're meant to understand that whatever happens, it happens for us, not to us, because the universe is never against us. When we move in faith, we understand that we are the creator. That's the seagulls out there. I guess they agree. It's really about moving in faith that takes us through every unknown moment, and understanding and knowing at your hearts of heart, your heart of hearts, that if this is presented before you, you are meant to be able to handle it. You're meant to take the chance. You're meant to be able to handle it. Nothing is bigger than your experience right now. Nothing is bigger than you that you cannot take on. So moving in faith is so important, because when it feels impossible, and you will learn in recovery that when you heal your relationship with your body, yes, you will have frustrations. You will have days when you feel like you cannot do this anymore. But when you move in faith, every single day is a magical moment. And you will learn, like I said, when you go through the process fully, you come out of it feeling like you understand this concept that life is all about having fun. When you live a full life and understand that when, yes, you may have sorrow and sadness and anger and all of these things, you will laugh in the face of them, because you know that they are there to create more of a beautiful experience that would move you even further into your most magnificent self. So I want you to understand that. And again, I'm going to come back to the question, like, what do I want? Because this is exactly the question you need to keep asking yourself when you're going through this experience of recovering. Because it's not just about eating food, it's not about filling yourself up. And yes, you will fear the idea of putting on weight at the beginning. But when you begin to conquer each fear, each mountain will be conquered, and you will be able to see the beautiful sunrise, the beautiful sunset, without having the obsession running the show in your head. And more than that, this is what we do in the program with me, is that I truly, truly, truly believe this, and I'm so passionate about this, is that yes, you can go through therapy, you can go and have a nutrition plan for you, or a dietitian will take you through like some sort of weight goal or a calorie goal or whatever it is. But and yet I see this so much. I speak to a lot of women and they say that, yeah, I know all of these things intellectually. I know what I want. I just want to be free. I just want to be happy, and I just want to be able to go out and eat and have fun. And I'm achieving my weight goal. I'm achieving the calorie goal as well. And yet I still have that eating disorder voice in me, and yet I still feel scared. And that is because you're not embodying it. You're intellectually averse, like you're intellectually versed with it. You are intellectually understanding what it is that you need to do. You are understanding it all here in the mind. And because of this disorder, this is the disorder that manifests because we were, well, I am gonna say in past tense for me, but if you're still in it, then you are still stuck in the head, and a lot of things just stop here, right here. So even if you go for therapy, it's just going to be here. Yeah, you understand it, you get it, but why can't I do it? Why can't I keep that in me when I'm on my own and out of the therapy, or out of the therapist's office? That's because you only have it here, and the mind can only do as much. And when you are not taking good care of your body, when you're still starving yourself, or when you're still avoiding your emotions, that's a big one. Your mind is trying its best to keep you surviving, and your mind has no other room to do anything else except to do that for you. So that's why I find it so important for us to do the work, to drop into the body, to really, really feel the emotions in a beautiful way where you don't need to attach any stories to it. We're not even talking about, you know, going to a mode where you're like remembering something that happened when you were 2 or 3 years old that gave you this moment of, that's leading you to this very, very deeply deeply embedded trauma that you can't even remember. We're not talking about that. If it happens, yes, great. But what my modality would teach you to do is that you can do this anywhere you are. You don't need to create, like, oh, I need to do this, so I need to sit down and do this. Yes, that is a practice that I would totally encourage you to do. But you will also carry with you tools that you can use when you're outside, when you're with people, when you were triggered, or when you felt like, oh no, maybe I can feel my eating disorder thoughts coming up. All these things will be with you when you use it, whenever you are, wherever you are. It will happen immediately. The quantum flip will happen immediately. So that's why I'm so passionate about this, because it's not about writing the story to what you're feeling. It's about feeling it. That's it. End of story. You have to feel it. And that is when beautiful things will happen. That is when we will come in and harness it with a practice that is so simple that anyone can begin to do. And you will actually fall in love with it, and you won't even, you will just say, yeah, I would love to do this every single day. It's just so easy. So I just want you to really do that. And, just ask yourself this question today: what do I want? Because that is a huge question, isn't it? And we don't really ask ourselves that question. You always ask, like, what does she want? What does he want? What does my son want? What does my daughter want? What does my husband want? But you don't really ask that question, what do I want, right? So I urge you to kind of look into this today, feel into it. And I'm going to leave this here because I don't want it to go too long. And just some exciting sneak peek. I will be launching the program again in August, and this time around, lots of changes. And I will actually launch it with an early bird offer of 50% off. So if you are excited and also with me on this, let me know. I'll send you the details when the doors open in August. But for now, I just want to send you all my love. And whoever is watching, I love you. You know that you're loved and held here. So feel free to share, feel free to speak to me. And I will see you next time. Bye.